says atheists like puppies, or if we would have just said we don't like your park, it wouldn't have got the attention this deserves.
Right.
I think people need to know how bad this park is and what laws are being broken, and that's important. And it also, the argument may be we're appealing to our base, but that's true. We are looking for the firebrand atheists out there because those are the ones that run the organization behind the scenes. We need those people, and we need to let people know we are here. Our membership had record numbers once we announced this billboard. So those are the people we are appealing to.
I love it. So everyone, if you're anywhere around Ken Ham's Creation Museum or the Tri-State area, check out Tri-State Freethinkers, or check it out if you're far away and try to make plans for a fun-filled July 7th party to go protest Ken Ham's genocide and incest park. How's that sound, Jim?
That sounds great. And Phil, we would love for you to be here. Maybe you can do a live podcast from here. We'd like to invite anybody to listen to the Phil Ferguson Show. Please come on down. It is going to be a blast.
Yeah, I hear that live and I go, ugh. That's a lot of work, dude. That, but maybe
not live, but you could shoot some footage for it. I think it would be. I cannot even begin to tell you the people we're talking to and how epic this thing is going to be. You're not going to want to miss it.
I love the idea. I'm checking my schedule now, and I'll hopefully know here soon. But Jim, thank you for, of course, years and years of service. Well, at least 4 of them. I know you've done a lot in 4 years. So thanks for doing this, and thanks for being on the Phil Ferguson Show. And with a little luck, I'll see you in July.
Appreciate you having me. Look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Here's an excerpt from Mum, Dad, I'm an Atheist by David G. McAfee.
It is the same highly regarded concept of an afterlife that allows misguided religious people to justify the mistreatment of those who disagree with their religious ideologies. They are simply trying to protect you from eternal damnation in the afterlife by condemning you, insulting you, and even disowning you in this life. It is not to say that becoming open about your disbelief is always going to be met with these negative reactions, and, in fact, that is precisely what this work is hoping to prevent. But it is important to understand that if you experience negative reactions from religious kin, it is probably a result from the religion's teachings, and likely not from any personal vendetta or hatred.
Mom, Dad, I'm an Atheist by David G. McAfee is now available at atheistaudiobooks.com.
You're listening to The Phil Ferguson Show on Secular Media Network.
All right, everybody, this is Phil Ferguson. Welcome back to The Phil Ferguson Show. Now we're going to do something a little different and maybe a little disturbing. So if you have children around, think about this. This episode may upset you. I have on my new friend, Jennifer, and she's just going to go by her first name for now. Jennifer, are you there?
I am here. Thank you.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. What was it? Friends, Joey. How you doing?
That's right.
Jennifer recently heard of my show, and how was that, Jennifer?
Well, I had recently found the Seth Andrews podcast, and I was absorbing that, listening to the episodes back to back, and had come across your episode and then started listening to your podcast.
Well, isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for listening, and thank you for being so nice. And unfortunately, I also have to thank you for bringing an issue to my attention.
Yes, a difficult issue like you had mentioned.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to do, just for the listeners, if you want to see what we're going to talk about, I'm going to put this on the Phil Ferguson Show Facebook page. So you can go there. I'll have the link to the Facebook page in the show notes. But if you look for the Phil Ferguson Show on Facebook, I'm sure you can find it, or you can look for me on Facebook. I'll have it there also. And we're going to actually share this. And Jennifer, I think we agreed that for prudence, we're going to redact the phone number and street address of this person.
Yes, I think that's probably the best approach for now.
And I also want to say for the listeners, I really would prefer that you do not search this person out. Do not phone them. Do not email them. Do not write them a letter. Don't be a dick. All right? Just because this person is doing something that probably the vast majority of my listeners are not going to be happy with, let's not sink to their level. But I would encourage you to share this far and wide so that people know that this thing is kind of going on. So I just wanted to get that caveat out there for the listeners that feel like they should get personally involved and contact this person. Please do not. Is that fair to say, Jennifer?
I think so, and I think it'll be a little more clear as we talk about it.
Absolutely. So up to now, we've just gone through 2.5 minutes of tease, and the listener's like, "What the fuck?" So maybe we've oversold it. So why don't you tell me about what you sent me, and really importantly, how you got it?
Yes. So I actually live in Louisville, Kentucky, and a friend contacted me, and this is not an air quotes friend. This is actually a real life person that lives in Louisville, Kentucky. She received I'm going to call it a letter of advertisement in the mail. And this letter was addressed to her home. Unfortunately, it was to the previous homeowners, but she, by accident, opened it up and was shocked to read what was in the advertisement, and then proceeded to contact me because she knew that I had an interest in this area. This is really about protecting children, and I'll kind of go through the letter here in a moment, but that I had an interest in this area and that we had very similar perspectives on child rearing and parenting. And she was about to have a baby, so asked if there was anything that I thought I could do to get involved. So that is what led me to Phil. Part of my efforts in outreach to try to think about some of the actions that I can take, and also not just this particular business, but thinking about this in a bigger picture about how we treat our children. Some of the actions that we can take as a community and as a society. And
now, if I can jump in, you do have a background with children. Is that fair to say? Is that okay to disclose?
Yeah, I actually used to practice. I have a background as a registered nurse. I used to practice clinically as a pediatric intensive care unit nurse. I also did a significant amount of pediatric vaccine research. I have a master's in health policy, and I'm actually pursuing or getting ready to pursue a PhD in nursing with a focus on examining parenting and family as a role in decreasing societal violence. So this is definitely an area that I'm interested in.
Well, it's apparently not just interested in it. It's an area that you have at least some expertise in it.
Yes, and hope to get more.
So
yes.
You have a friend who got a letter that is hand-signed.
Yes. Would you like to hear about the letter?
Yeah. I'm just wondering how much more we should tease this out. But this went to your friend, and they said,
yes.
"Oh, my God, Jennifer, you should look at this." And what does this letter tell us?
So the letter it's very recent. It's dated April 7th, 2016. And it starts out, "Dear friends, I'm contacting you as a former customer of Child Training Resources." So the name of the business is Child Training Resources.
Curious.
Go ahead.
I love the title. It's like when Republicans say tax reform, or something.
Sounds very legitimate.
Religious liberty. It's child training.
Yes. Apparently, this is an organization, and they actually disclose this in the letter, that sells. Well, they used to sell, and they currently now sell, what they call chastising instruments. This business closed in 2006 due to some external pressures, and then over the last 10 years, according to the letter, they've received periodic requests and are now making their chastising instruments available once again.
And so at chastising, I'm thinking of chastity belt, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about something to hit.
Something to hit. Yes, these are instruments that are made to hit children. In fact, they describe the instrument. The main one is 9 inches long, 1.5 inches wide, 3/4 inches thick, made of virtually indestructible polyurethane, is extremely flexible and quite portable, And they're kind enough to let us know that it easily fits into a purse, backpack, or diaper bag.
And I love the fact that it's virtually indestructible, because the last
Right.
thing you want to have happen when you're beating the ever-living fucking shit out of your little child is for your instrument to break.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, that would really spoil the child.
Yes, that would spoil the child, wouldn't it?
And,
Yes.
and it also has, and the thing that really piqued my interest, the letter says that this is a private basis. And why is this offered on a private basis?
Well, they let us know that it's okay to let other biblically minded parents know about this instrument, but to not post about it on the internet, and please exercise discretion, because even though they call it, I'm air quoting right now, proper chastisement is legal, there are some people who actually believe that any type of spanking constitutes child abuse. So please be thoughtful as to who you share this with.
And so I, Phil Ferguson, cannot resist the idea that when someone, first of all, talks about how to hit, how to beat a child, and creates a custom instrument that is virtually indestructible and wants to sell it to you, that they have enough social awareness to know that this should not be on the internet. Yeah. So Jennifer and I talked, and what we think is that this should be on the internet, which is why we're sharing it, and we're redacting the address and phone number, because we don't want you to call or email this person, but we do ask that you share this far and wide. And the place you can find it, of course, is the Phil Ferguson Show Facebook page. And so when this show goes out, of course, you're listening to it, it's out, you can go there and find it and share it with all of your friends so that people know that this is out there. Now, if I want to buy one of these, how much does this cost?
Well, the price is actually $8 per instrument. You can get a special, I believe it's a smaller version for the toddler training, which is I think you actually have to contact him to find out how much that one costs. It's a slightly narrower sized instrument.
That blows my mind that they've made enough thought.
Yes.
That not only do they have a stick that you can beat your child with, but you can also beat your toddler, and it should be a smaller size.
Yes, it should be a smaller size, and it handily fits in a backpack or diaper bag. So there we have it.
And apparently they have different sizes, because you can contact them and get a quote for the
You can get
one.
a quote. They're kind enough to only charge a flat fee if you require over 6 instruments. Right. So I'm not sure why anyone would need that many.
Well,
but
you have 6 kids.
I guess they all have their own. I don't know how that works.
I'm surprised they don't offer a service to put the child's name on it.
Well, maybe that's something they could think about in the future.
Or a Bible verse.
There might be one on there right now. I don't know.
Wow. Well, and it has here, it says, one important thing, and I quote, feel free to let other biblically minded parents know about this chastising instrument. Gosh, well, I don't know why that was so hard. But do not post anything about it on the internet.
Yes.
Well, guess what we're going to do, folks? We're going to put it on the internet.
Well, and what's even, I think, probably the most disturbing part about the letter is there is a second page of the letter which includes basic tips on chastisement, where they go on to describe some helpful Christian parenting resources that are available, and some of the best quotes, which I think are the most disturbing.
Hey, you know what, Jennifer? What I want to do, let's do that commercial break I warned you about.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
When the listeners come back, we'll read the second page and really scare the listeners. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, hang on, and we'll be right back. This is Phil Ferguson with Polaris Financial Planning, the home of science-based investing. I see people owning really bad investments all of the time. Many advisors are paid a commission by a big company to sell you something you may not need.